right, so we have a quorum. We'll go ahead and trust the agenda to keep me on track here, and we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation,
indivisible,
with
justice
for all. Thank you. All right.
We got to get that down to a cadence.
I think you're right, Dale. We got to get kind of on the same singing sheet there. There's probably a song along with it. I don't
Those
remember.
subtitles might work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That anyway, let's see. So Joe, you got all the attendance.
I do.
So just a point to the board here. Chris Olson did submit his letter of resignation, and I'm kind of sad that he did, but I understand why he did, and the reason he did is the op tempo of the work that he's currently doing was not really didn't do us any justice. I mean, he was popping around different continents. He's going to continue to pop around different continents. He's moving up on the fast track. I'm not sure you can get much higher than E9, but maybe he can achieve something like that. He's pretty aggressive. He encourages us to keep in touch with him. I did have lunch with him at the beginning of the month, and what a pleasure to have met him and know him. And I definitely would like to keep in touch with him in the future. Okay. He sends his regrets, and that's it. And I want to introduce before we get started here. We got Peter Constantine. Okay,
that's me.
Peter is a newly minted appointed member to the Veterans Advisory Board. Last night he got voted unanimously by the town council, all 6 members. There's still one yet to be voted on to replace Councilor Ed Dombrowski. That election will happen in June. But Peter, welcome. Welcome to the Veterans Advisory Board. And you've got some in processing. They've changed their procedures a little bit. You got to knock out all those things on the checklist before you can participate and vote. But you're welcome to listen in this evening.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Do you have anything to share about yourself?
What's that again?
You have something to share about yourself to the group?
Well, I've been living in Wakefield, my wife and I, Gail, we've been living in Wakefield since 1977. And I have 4 boys, and all 4 boys graduated from Wakefield High. And one of my sons is a school teacher at Wakefield High right now. He's been there for about 14 years.
What's he teach?
He does videography. He teaches that at Wakefield High School.
Okay.
What else? My prior service, I was in the military for 28 years active duty, and I had some guard time, which total of 39 years. I was in the infantry. I was a first sergeant. I was an assistant IG and worked for a full bird colonel. We had over 5,000 troops we were responsible for. But I had a great career with the military, and I retired and living happily right now.
So you were with the 1A2, right?
Yes, I was.
Okay, good.
Peter, remember me?
What's that?
Peter, do you remember me? Joe Jacoby?
Yeah, I saw the name up there. I can't see you though.
Long time no see.
Still can't see.
Still can't see. Yeah.
No, I'm not. I thought I was on there.
No,
You got on mute your video camera.
Oh, okay.
I saw the name and I said, gee, I know a Joe Jacoby.
it's him.
Probably the same guy.
Mhm.
Okay.
Haven't changed either. Just gotten older.
Haven't we all?
That's
Yeah.
kind of like my
Tell me
wish.
about it.
All right, let's see. We have to pick up where we left off last month in April. I'm on item number 4, basically succession. So we're going to get into the difficult stuff up front first. Nominations and voting for the 2025 and 2026 Veterans Advisory Board leadership. Okay. Joe, congratulations, you're confirmed as the secretary. However, still open is the position of vice chair, and we also have to confirm the position for chair. Okay. So, is there a motion to open the floor for discussion and nominations for vice chair?
So moved. Open the floor for discussion.
Okay, discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Okay. Do we have, Miriam, your motion to open the floor for discussion for vice chair? Do you have any nominations? Does anybody have any?
We're waiting. I thought we were waiting to hear what Dale Finley's decision was on being nominated at the last meeting. Was he not?
That was expressed, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I
And
thought.
we have to- My
Uh,
problem is with accepting the vice chair is twofold. One is that I'm significantly older than I think almost everybody on the board right now. And I'm finding that I'm getting less and less capable. My memory is terrible. If I don't write it down, it's gone in 2 or 3 minutes. If somebody tells me a name or introduces themselves, and it's just not, I just don't feel comfortable taking on a responsibility that I may not do well at.
Okay. Wow, we got Joe Jacoby there. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, there he is. Hi, Joe.
Aye, Dale.
So we have a nomination. We have one nomination for Dale Finley. Okay. Dale has,
Declined.
Dale, I appreciate your honesty and I appreciate your willingness and your efforts.
And I appreciate your comments. It doesn't change the effect that, I don't want to become like our ex-president and have, not be able to properly express myself.
Well,
And I'm approaching those kind of conditions at times.
Okay. Well, you know what, Dale, you've made the majority of the meetings. I don't think you've missed any that I can recall off the top of my head. But like you, I too have to write things down, and I have a messy desk at home. Because I write things down.
Let me put it this way. If there is no one else that will take the vice chair, I will take the vice chair. But I forewarn everyone of that
I mean,
my
at
lack of,
79, I have to write everything down too, Dale. If I don't write it down,
it's
believe me,
gone.
it goes
It's-
right. I have to go. I always have my notes to go back on
Yeah.
what I have to do, what I don't have to do.
Yeah.
Because I'm so involved with the Gold Star Wives that there's a lot of things. If I didn't write it down, forget it.
Yeah,
You know,
I use,
there's a lot
I use
of us
my
at
phone.
this age that are in that boat, I'm afraid.
So
Afraid you're
every
right.
day I have that moment, what did I come in this room for? So,
Yeah.
I never thought I would be using the alphabet so much as I do now when I try to remember a person's name.
Yeah.
But I could
I
do the
hear you,
alphabet
Joe. I do the
backwards if I
same
had
thing.
to. I've gotten pretty good at it, actually.
So are there any other nominations? Is anybody else willing to step up and take the vice chair? Okay, so we have Dale Finley. No others, so we'll go right to a vote. Save time. Dale Finley is the vice chair for the 2025, 2026 season here for the Veterans Advisory Board. I think we can just do all those in favor.
Aye.
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 Any opposed? No? Dale, congratulations. You are the vice chair. Okay. Moving on to the next item on the board there, and that is the position as chair. Okay. I'm going to open the floor for nominations. Does anybody, first of all, I'll go ahead and open it. So we have is it a motion to open the discussion to nominate a chair for the Veterans Advisory Board for 2025, 2026?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Seconded? Okay.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Any opposed? Okay. Who made the motion?
I did.
You did. Okay.
I did. Dale.
And Mr. Vice Chair, do you have a nomination for the chair?
I do not. I'm looking at it, and all the other people are doing great jobs of doing what they're doing for the board. If they're interested in taking it, I would certainly, recognize that.
Okay. Does anybody have a nomination for the chair?
I nominate Dave Magnan.
I can't because of the conflict of interest.
Yeah. It's
Oh, okay,
conflict,
Dave,
yeah.
I forgot
I would
about that.
believe you, I'd jump on that. They can fire me, I'll go do it.
I recognize that, Dave. That's why I didn't mention
Thank
it.
you.
I'd
Much as
nominate
I'd like
Dan
to, Joe,
Benjamin.
believe me, I would. Thank you.
Marion, what about you?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, between being the New England president of Gold Star Wives and being the secretary of the Greater Boston chapter, I have enough on my hands.
Okay.
Without trying to be the chair. I mean, I was the vice chair for what, 2 years, Paul? I can't
Yeah,
remember. I was the
done
vice chair for 2 years
you've done
already.
your time.
Yeah,
Well,
chair I
Paul-
could not do, or I would in a heartbeat, but I got too much I have too much on my plate with the Gold Star Wives to be the
And
chair.
Paul, I'm sure
But
that
I did
whoever does
nominate
wanna-
Dan Benjamin.
Whoever does want to take the nomination for the position, that you'd endorse them and also support them and have the transition go as smooth as possible in understanding the process in which it entails from what you've learned over the last 2 years of what you've done here. So don't be afraid of taking the position. If you think you won't know what to do or how to do it, I'm sure Paul will stand right by your side until you're comfortable over it. So there's nothing to be fearful of.
Well, that's why, again, I nominated Dan, because Dan has been on here. He knows the ins and outs. He knows the people that you have to talk to. He knows the go-tos, the not go-tos, and you've got way too much information, Dan. That's why I wanted to nominate you.
I thank you very much, Marion, but I have some medical issues, which I know Paul knows about, and
Yeah.
I've had prostate cancer and it has
I
returned,
forgot about that.
and I'm going for radiation with that again. And I've also now been diagnosed with Parkinson's, so I have a lot of trouble with tremors and speech.
Yeah, I forgot about the prostate cancer. Sorry.
So Rob, do you have any nominations?
Nope, I can sense everybody saying they want me to do it, but I'm not going to because I'm not sure I'm gonna stay on the board. So sorry, folks, I'm just not up for it.
And Joe Jacoby, any nominations?
Oh, like, well,
Would you consider it, Joe?
You know, Marion, I would, but I'm gonna be the sergeant major at the Ancients next year, and that's taking up a lot of my time. And I'm still kind of the new guy on the block here. I've only been here, what, about a year?
Yeah.
So, but I think you'd be a great one.
Yeah, I just don't think I have the time to do it.
Well, we have to close we have to close with a decision, okay? I mean, I am open to do the job for another year, but my term ends in April of 2026. And May 1st, I do a world cruise. You won't find me.
Good for you.
Well, then we get Dale.
I mean,
Dale,
I've
you don't want it, Dale?
The chair?
Well,
No.
He's
No,
vice
that-
chair.
we just nominated him as the vice chair. Now,
Vice
now you're
chair.
gonna mess things up.
Well, Paul, if you take it for another year till April anyhow, I think between now and April, we'll increase the amount of folks on the board. And perhaps one that joins on the board, we could influence to maybe step into the position if in fact they have the caliber of the position capabilities.
How many positions do we have open right now? Two?
One.
No,
And it's
one.
increased.
We have one, the chair. There's 3 positions on the board, the chair, the vice chair, and the secretary.
No, I mean, just being on the board itself.
On
How
the
many-
board, oh, okay, I understand your question. So we have, there are 10, we can go more than 10, okay, but the town likes to put 10 in the seats.
And you don't
and-
have to be a veteran to be on this board, so.
We currently have 2 openings, okay? With Peter's confirmation last night, we had 3 openings. Peter filled one, so we now have 2 openings on the board. And there are a couple applications that are being submitted to Sherry Dalton. So I
That's good.
think we're gonna get those filled. And the application process, they have to submit the application to Sherry Dalton. And then the next town council meeting is on the 9th of June. And that will be the, next opportunity to confirm new members of the Veterans Advisory Board.
And with so many things coming up in June, I think we might get some people that might be interested. Just with Flag Day, Memorial Day, the rededication. Put a little strip in the item or something.
I was thinking of putting Shackelford's ad in the paper there, except, changing it to Veterans Advisory Board. But
And like I say, you don't have to be a veteran. You could be, just a normal citizen that wants to get involved.
no, I understand.
But
I
Christy
understand that.
Yentl was great at what when she was on the board.
So the challenge here is we have to solve it with what we have right now. We can't solve it with what we think we might have next month.
So one of you should probably nominate Paul. I can't.
I'll nominate Paul to continue as the chair.
I second that.
I accept your nomination, Dale.
Okay. Okay.
And then we bring this to a vote. Okay. To put the cancellary in the seat again for another year. Okay. All those in favor?
I
Any
miss Paul, you should have known.
Any opposed? All right, so it's Dale, Cancelleri, and Joe
Yeah.
Delolio. So
Close enough.
Those
We
are
have a
them.
party.
Right.
so Joe, if it's close enough, what is perfection?
Delolio.
Delolio.
Dolio.
Olio.
Okay.
The lowly entry.
Olio, yeah. It
That's okay.
actually
Dave,
spells, it actually
Joe?
spells that way.
between you and I, the VSO is yet to get my last name right. So
I spell it right. I just don't say it right.
that's okay. You say it 1,000 times a day, but that's all right.
The
We
only
love you
time I
anyway.
heard it was in a movie.
Yes, it was in a movie that ended up in 3 different iterations. Anyway, so I think we now have our 2025, 2026 board. So it's Ken Solari, it's Dale, and it's Joe. All right. Good. So now we can move on to other business and function as a board. Thankfully, we got that behind us. Joe, we have the minutes from last month. Everybody has had a chance to take a look at those. Is there a motion on the floor to go ahead and accept the minutes for April 2025?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as written.
I
Is that
second.
Second.
Second. Any discussion about the minutes from April 2025? Okay, seeing no discussion. We'll go ahead and take a vote. All those in favor of accepting the April 2025 minutes? Raise your hand.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
I can't see your hand, Dale.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
what's going on with that camera.
You just got a still picture of you, Dale.
Hmm?
We just got a still of you
Yeah, that's
over
it.
here.
So are you in favor of the minutes, Dale? There you go.
Yeah.
Yay.
You're in favor of the minutes.
Yes, I am.
Okay, good. So the minutes pass. Joe, if you can wrap those up, put a bow on it and send it to Sherry and have them posted, I'd appreciate that. Thank you.
Will do.
And all right. Mr. Mangan, our soon-to-be full-time veteran service officer. Your report.
Yes, sir. VSO report for May 20th, 2025. First thing I would like to let folks know that the Office of Veteran Services has moved to the second floor of the Senior Center, 30 Converse Street, Wakefield. It is no longer on the ground floor of the facility. You can take the elevator to the second floor and go down the hall to the end of the hall, and the office is on the right. Thank you to all who assisted in the move, the DPW, and the crew of the Senior Center. The Veterans Monthly Greater Boston Food Bank will be held tomorrow on Wednesday, May 21st, and will provide 28 veterans and their families with much needed provisions. Thank you once again to the Wakefield Food Pantry for providing several dry goods and paper supplies for the program. We have 3 volunteers who assist in the assembly of the food and 2 who assist in distributing. We also have Nancy Jenny, who has for a few years now phoned all the veterans the day before to remind the participants of the program. If any Wakefield veteran, spouse, or immediately family or member of a veteran would like to participate in this program to be included in the drive-through and the pickup, please call our office for further information. That's 781-246-6377. Or email at dmangan@wakefield.ma.us. Veteran Services. Our monthly Veterans Coffee Social was held at the Senior Center, 30 Converse Street, Wakefield, last Saturday, May 17th at 10 a.m. This was the last coffee social until September 20th, 2025 at 10 a.m., when we will resume with several guest speakers from both the VA and support programs offered to the veterans. The WCAT podcast for veterans was recorded on May 13th and can now be heard on TV, WCAT, known as Kilroy Was Here, starting at 10 p.m. Monday through Sunday, and several times during the day. We'll resume our podcast also in September, date and time to be announced. It is an open invitation to veterans who may want to share their time in the service and perhaps give some insight to how it changed their lives or giving them opportunities to develop careers or continue their education. If any veteran would like to participate, please contact the Veterans Office. No names are broadcasted unless you agree, and the stories will become part of the historical records for the town. Chapter 115, qualifying veterans and their dependents can receive necessary financial assistance for food, shelter, fuel, and medical reimbursement monthly in accordance with a formula that takes into consideration the number of dependents and income from all sources. For those on a medical-only category, prescription drugs are reimbursed, and if they qualify for Mass Health buy-in, we can assist in getting the application submitted. For appointments of Veteran Services, please contact me with any questions you may have regarding ongoing benefits or submissions of new benefits. We are located upstairs on the second floor of the Senior Center, 30 Converse Street, Wakefield, and is currently by appointment only. The Veteran Service hours of operation are Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Starting in July, the hours will be Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. for walk-ins, and 11:30 to 4 p.m. for appointments. Holiday schedules will be based on the day of the week the holiday falls on. Voicemail is checked 7 days a week at 781-246-6377. And I want to say that I'm very, very happy after the last 3 years of hoping and moving forward to make this position a full-time position, but not myself so much as it is the future that within the next 5 years, if I make it that long, which God willing I may, that it'll be established that the transition for the new people coming into the position will be able to help the Wakefield community veterans and their spouses in a very strong and upright way. After my first year, I had said to Mary Ann, my administrator on the veterans program, that I liked the job, that I'd like to see if I could be here the longest. And her response was, "You already have been." That being said, I looked right away that there must be a problem with this position. So by the help of so many other veteran service officers, and Paul included, we've established a ground floor on which to build the Wakefield Veteran Services programs. Are there any questions for me at this time? Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you.
Just if you haven't been upstairs to the office or upstairs in the Warren School where the senior center is, it's quite an accomplishment with what the renovator did. It's a beautiful facility, and my compliments to Karen and the town of Wakefield and the folks from DPW and the contractors that worked up there. They really did a very, very nice job.
Yeah. The only one not happy is Nancy Bertram, because they took out the windows.
Oh,
She didn't get her wood windows back in. The original.
well, Nancy's welcome in my house anytime. I got
Yeah,
70.
I understand. Nancy's a good person. She fought hard for him.
No, no, it's David, thank you very much for the report. Just a kind of on an aside there, before the meeting started, we did talk about the flagging of the graves, and we had an okay turnout at Lakeside Cemetery. The Girl Scouts did the flag garden on the Upper Common, but just a reminder, Friday at 3:30 is at Forest Glade. I will be over in Saugus on Friday to do that cemetery, Riverside Cemetery, but please, if you have an opportunity to get over there in the afternoon, if your family, relatives, kids, okay, have an opportunity to get over there to help flag the graves, please spread the word. Okay, it's a beautiful day yesterday to do it. It was a little breezy, but Friday afternoon, 3:30. I think the rain should not be a problem by then. Okay.
The ground will be soft, hopefully, for the implant of the flags.
Yeah.
And
Dave,
I
when
will.
will- I'm sorry.
I will tell you that the tool that you must have is a screwdriver. Okay, not the one with the tips come out. Okay, and you can flip them around between Phillips and straight and all that other kind of stuff. No, just a regular old-fashioned screwdriver. Doesn't matter if it's a flat tip or cross tip or whatever, but something to
Sure.
stick in the ground to start the hole for the flag. Okay, that's like you really need that tool. Okay, to do the job. Go ahead, Dale.
I was just asking, what time would you be getting the flags there, Dave?
3:30,
3:30?
3:30 PM. Yep.
Okay.
Just want to hop in. We need to vote to accept the VSO report.
Yes.
Thank you very much. David, just one question. How many flags do you have for Forest Glade?
Oh, about 1,200, maybe more.
So there's probably about 1,500, I think, is probably what needs to be done. So that's a little bit
I
of
may
work.
have that. I have to look at it again. I know I have at least 1,200 in the boxes. Then I have another 200, 300 in the bags. So
All right. As Joe reminded us, thank you. Is there a motion on the floor to accept the VSO report?
I motion
I
to
make
accept
that motion.
the report.
Seconded.
Second.
Okay. I got Joe Jacoby making the motion and Dale Finley making the second. Okay. All those accepting the Veteran Service Officer report, please indicate by raising your hand. Okay. Any objection? Sold. Thank you very much, David, for your VSO report.
Stay away from the trees.
yes, there was
Yes.
a tree that collapsed. That fell yesterday by the building. Yeah, that was
Uh,
scary.
The next thing I sent out, it's not on the agenda, but I just want to pop it open, is the letter for the time capsule. Okay. I'll just, and Joe, thank you very much for your edits. I kind of went back and slept on it and took a look at it and added some additional things for what I hope to be a front and back document. But I'll read the letter to go in the time capsule on the 31st during the rededication ceremony, which is Saturday, the 31st from 12 noon until 4 p.m. Okay. And there'll be a special program starting at about 2:30, 3 o'clock with some guest speakers and performers and things like that for to kind of close the ceremony. It is a wonderful day. There's an opportunity to start in the cemetery. Okay, there's a ceremony at the Civil War section in the cemetery with a march that runs down by the Colonel Hartshorn House. Okay, the Hartshorn House and the Red Schoolhouse will be open to the public that day. There will be a trolley also that day. I know how some of you like to get on that and ride around. That will take you up to the Red Schoolhouse, take you down to the Hartshorn House, and take you back to the Common. Okay, to kind of sort of work some of those displays and features and things that are open. I do believe the First Baptist Church will also be open if you haven't had a chance to see the new church. And Pastor Day is gracious enough to allow us to, have access to that. Parking is available. Okay. Parking's available at First Baptist Church. It's also available along the street. I will say that Church Street will be closed on Saturday afternoon. So it'll be closed from 11 o'clock until about 4:30 till the end of the ceremony. There will be some cannon also involved. So there's all sorts of, I will be there. I highly recommend on Saturday, if you have the opportunity to go there with your family and your friends, make the effort and participate in the rededication.
I'll be there. I'll be there. I might even be firing the cannon.
Okay, excellent.
I'm a cannoneer, so I could.
Yeah.
And it's my old group, the 5th Massachusetts, which is there. I'll be in uniform, Civil War uniform.
So it's just a good day. There's some old friends and some other people that will be there from throughout the town. The other part of this, I will just make it clear to everybody on the board. My definition of success of any event in town is if we can get 3 generations in attendance, that's a successful event. Okay, whether it's a VAB meeting or a town council meeting or whatever the meetings are, but 3 generations. I think this one is set up to hit that out of the park. Okay, because there's school children, there's high school children and families and retired military, active military, and we even have VSOs. So it'll be
And grandparents, you have grandparents too.
Grandparents, yeah.
AKA Rodney Dangerfield.
Started,
only the reenactor, not the comedian.
I'll tell you.
What I want to do is just share with the board. I'm going to read the letter that we put together. Okay. Saturday, May 31st, this will go into the time capsule. Issued by the Town of Wakefield's Veterans Advisory Board. Established in 2012, the board is charged with providing recommendations to the town administrator and overseeing the operations of the Wakefield Veterans Service Office. It brings accountability and ensures that a robust veterans perspective informs policies and procedures affecting Wakefield's veteran community. The board comprises of 10 members appointed by the Wakefield Town Council. The board convenes monthly, either virtually or in person, and is responsible for organizing a series of local commemorative events. And these events include Memorial Day, which is observed on the last Monday in May at the Upper Common. Quote, "Poor is a nation that has no heroes. Shameful is a nation that has them and forgets." Unquote. Veterans Day, held on November 11th at 11 o'clock at the Galvin Middle School. War Chaplains Day, which is observed on February 3rd at Temple Emmanuel. Flag Day, commemorated on June 14th, concurrent with the United States Army birthday on the Upper Common. Wreaths Across America Day, which is celebrated on the 2nd Saturday in December at Forest Glades Cemetery. An annual plan for the 2024-2025 period is also appended. Under the United States law, the term veteran is defined as a person who served in the active military, Navy, naval, or air service, and who was discharged or released therefore under conditions other than dishonorable, which is Title 38 of the USC 101, Section 2. While Armed Forces refers to the United States Army, Navy and Marine Corps, Air Force, and Coast Guard, including their service components, under Title 38 of the USC Code 101, Section 10. It should be noted that in 2019, the United States Space Force was incorporated as a component of the Armed Forces. Within the Veteran Service Officer District, 3 municipalities collectively provide services for a total of 2,659 veterans. The district's veteran population is, for the town of Saugus, 1,176, the town of Wakefield, 851 veterans, and for the city of Melrose, 632 veterans. Effective in fiscal year 2026, the Office of Veteran Services for the town of Wakefield will operate independently of the district under the leadership of a full-time veteran service officer, Mr. David Mangan, a United States Air Force Vietnam veteran. This document represents the collaborative effort of the members of the Veterans Advisory Board, many of whom have served on active duty in Massachusetts National Guard or in the reserves, with one member identified as Gold Star wife. On the eve of the United States 250th anniversary, the board endorses the rededication of the Soldiers and Sailors Monument, which is a tribute to the sacrifices made by those who served during the Civil War. In addition, this record solemnly commemorates the veterans of the global war on terror from September 11, 2001 to August 2021. At the first Gulf War from 1990 to 1991, the Vietnam War from 1955 to 1975, the Korean War era from 1950 to 1953, World War II from 1939 to 1945, and World War I from 1914 to 1918. There are many other wars and conflicts that form our freedoms outlined in our Constitution, and these historical monuments serve to defend our Constitution, echoing a testament that freedom is not free, and that its preservation requires constant vigilance and sacrifice. Upon reading this letter, sometime in 2125, we can only hope that our Civil War from 1861 to 1865, the Soldiers and Sailors Monument, remains standing for yet another century as a reminder that war is a chaotic and catastrophic demise. Also, remember that our nation has dealt with uncertainties before, and keep in mind that our resources are substantial, and when properly led, our professional troops can be trusted to fight and win. Signed, Paul Cancelleri, Dan Benjamin, Joe Delolio, Miriam Dennehy, Robert Ettinger, Dale Finley, Joe Jacoby, and soon to be Peter Constantine. Is there anything that you need to add to that letter?
That was fabulous, Paul. You did a
Yeah,
great
very good,
job.
Paul. Wow,
Very,
wow.
very, very good.
Well,
Fantastic.
that was a joint effort from everybody here. So
It wasn't AI, right? You didn't go get AI out of Joe Delilio's folder, did you?
AI is not a member of the board.
I know, thank you.
Good
Jesus.
to
I
know.
Delilio, sorry.
So
That's great, Paul. Well done, well done.
Yeah, very good. Very good, Paul.
I'll go ahead and get that signed. So, Joe, just a kind of technical question. How's the best way to get the signatures on this document?
You could do it through PDF if everybody is comfortable opening it and digitally signing. Or maybe bring it to Coffee Social or something like that, and then we all stop by and sign it. Probably doing it in person is going to be easier.
So we don't have another coffee social. I
You
can.
leave it at town hall, and we all get out and stop in and sign it.
Yeah, that
Come
works.
to my new office, come to my new office, that big area out there.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that-
Go to Dave's office and
So-
sign.
Actually, give me a couple good ideas. If we leave a couple copies, so number one, I'll have a copy at the Memorial Day ceremony. Okay, so if you're coming to the Memorial Day ceremony, you can sign the
Okay.
letter. Okay.
Yeah.
But town hall and VSO's office. Okay. I can, yeah, and it'll be most likely be with the town clerk.
Okay.
Betsy Sheeran, yeah.
Yeah, with Betsy. Okay. To get the signatures. So I'll crank out an email that says you got to get it done. We obviously have to have it done by Saturday before they sink the box. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Saturday, it's got to be done by Saturday, the 31st. That would be fine.
Paul,
And,
did you ever get that type of paper that I think Nancy had recommended?
yeah, I have it. What I want to do is get it templated first by Jen McDonald, and then print it out. I can print it at home and have a signature. Yeah, I'm just Still trying to think. If it's at two different places, you sign one, then,
If you put it at town hall and set a date, so you need to go and sign it by such and such a date. I think one place would be better than putting it
Yeah.
in three
Clerk,
places.
the clerk's office, first floor, that's it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's
That's
the
the
most
simplest.
accessible at all times. And I mean, everybody knows where it is. Just stop by, run in and sign it. Certainly they can make time to do that. I think
yeah,
many
that'll be
places, and then you just,
yeah,
we're
we're not
making it
accomplishing.
harder.
Yeah, we're not accomplishing the mission, and we'll
Right.
check.
Right.
I agree with you. So let me get it templated. I'll print it out, send it over to Betsy and get that to her as soon as
Yeah,
possible.
just let us all know when it's there, then we can all make arrangements, just get there as quickly as possible and sign it.
Yeah, okay. The next item on the list that I have here is communications and social media updates. So the Veterans Coffee, that went well. We talked about that. The flagging of the cemeteries. Forest Glade is the next one on Friday. We spoke about that. Posting the veterans events, okay, to the community calendar link. Okay, that's underway. And thank you. So just for everybody on the board, each of us can post an event, a veterans event to the community, to the Wakefield community calendar. It doesn't have to be the secretary. It doesn't have to be the chair. You know, you don't have to get consensus to do that. If you know of a veteran event that's ongoing within the community, okay, I encourage you to just get it on the Wakefield community calendar and post it and let the community know about it. Okay. For example, the motorcycle event that happened on Saturday, through town probably was not on the community calendar. Okay. We certainly knew about it. We saw the signs. Okay. And then later on, we saw the 3,000 motorcycles that came by. Okay. But the Flag Day, that's another event that's coming up June 14th. I'm sure the 4th of July parade is up there. Okay. But these are all different types of events that we can post on that community calendar. Okay. We don't necessarily even have to have a ceremony to get it posted on the calendar. Just notify people that it's the Army's birthday, it's the Air Force birthday. Okay. And we can post those things on that community calendar. That's what it's meant for.
Do we have any kind of a feel for how many people read that calendar on a given week?
So the answer to that question is more than read the Facebook page that we have. Okay. Which leads me to my next subject. Okay. Jen McDonald has been the only, dare I say this, the only saint that's actually, posting things on our Facebook page. So I'm kind of moving for, we may want to sunset the Wakefield Veterans Advisory Board page. Okay. Because it requires a little bit of work. And the problem is the transition when we establish it and then our term expires and we don't renew our term, then the Facebook page goes stale. Okay. And nothing happens. All right. If you run a Facebook page, you got to have somebody checking it out. There are Wakefield community pages that we can post veterans events to. Okay. We don't have to have a Veterans Advisory Board Facebook page.
You can always say brought to you by the Veterans Advisory Board after it's posted.
I think
Brought
it does.
to you by.
Yeah. But it's, we still don't have and the webmaster is not the proper term for it. Okay. But we don't have the social media person on the board that is dedicated to managing that social media outlet. Jen McDonald is a wonderful person. She does communication for the town of Wakefield. She does not do communication specifically for the Veterans Advisory Board. Okay. It's okay to give her occasional things to post, but she's not our go-to person to maintain our page. Okay. She has the metrics, okay, that basically what she is looking for is 3 to 5 posts a week. Okay. We haven't been able to get 3 to 5 posts a month on that Veterans Advisory Board page, which is okay. So I'm going to have a conversation with Jen, and I think what she's going to end up doing is probably suggesting that we shut it down or merge with another Wakefield community page, okay, in town, okay, which I think would be the smart thing to do. Okay, all right. Just to
Would you
kind of
be
keep.
interested in making a motion to that?
Sure, go ahead, Dale, make the motion.
Let's make a motion to move or drop the Veterans Advisory Board Facebook page and merge it with an activity page on the town's Facebook
Social
page.
media, yeah.
Social media, yeah.
Second.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Only that I did a calculation of how many flags I have for Friday, Paul, 1,750. We're good.
What does that have to do with discussing the Facebook page?
And nothing, but I like, well,
You're not
nothing,
even a
but you know,
voting member.
like, Dale was saying, like, I tend to forget things and I probably would have forgotten to tell you about it by the end of this meeting. So, and being just a background noise, I thought it was appropriate.
As I recall, from VSO to VSO, there's a form for that. It's called a 526EZ. And you can put down there as a condition.
Well, I'll get a 4138 in support of the claim then, indeed.
All right. Back to the Facebook page discussion, okay?
There was a pause.
All right. Any other points about the Facebook page? Is there content on the Facebook page that we want to keep? Does anybody know?
I'm making people aware of the Zoom meeting that we have here. If they want to jump in to be aware of it. Maybe something to that degree. At least it'll be an asteriskated thing that we could use when people visit the older one. If we shut it down, we can keep that one item opened in that page so that people know that, well, here we go. They can become active in observing the VAB meetings.
Well, the VAB meetings are screened. I'm sorry, they're recorded and you can see them on YouTube.
Right, there you go.
Okay. So you don't need the Facebook page to do that. Okay. The services are provided.
Know
through
about
you.
it, and just to make them aware of it then, I guess, yeah.
So these are public events. These are recorded. Okay. And available to be, and they're listed on the town webpage under the boards and committees, and you can go pull them up. So they're available there, David.
Okay, just thought it,
No. I would just, for Joe in the minutes, if we can just inquire about archiving the content. If Jen McDonald would be considerate to archive the content as we shut the Facebook page down.
Well, first of all, we have to agree to shut it down. We haven't voted on that yet.
No, but I want to archive the content. Should we vote to shut it down?
Okay. Yeah.
Because we may stand it back up again, and the archive would help us to see what was going on. So, okay. No further discussion. Let's go ahead and bring this to a vote. Okay. The vote is to vote for shutting down the Wakefield Veterans Advisory Board Facebook page. Okay, and archiving the content. All those in favor?
I,
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, seeing none, we will send a note to Jen McDonald. Joe, if you can send a note to Jen McDonald, that would be appreciated.
Yep.
Okay, that it was voted that we, well, again, she can't do that until June, when we,
Approve the
vote
minutes.
minutes. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Flag Day, United States Army 250th birthday. Oh, I love this. So this is a warning order. Dale Finley,
Yes, sir.
I need you to coordinate the Flag Day ceremony on June 14th and the 250th birthday ceremony, which is nothing more than just mentioning the 250th birthday with the United States Army, maybe having the Army flag present, okay, at the Flag Day ceremony. I will not be available for that ceremony on June 14th.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
The ceremony starts at 7 o'clock and the ceremony should be on the upper common.
Yep.
And I believe,
And we need power and all that kind of stuff. And that, I guess that depends on whether the AMVETs are going to be there as they have in years past.
I think it's members of the Legion.
Yeah, American Legion.
Yeah. And also Troop 701. I will put a word out to Troop 701. The piece that needs to be done though is just to coordinate the ceremony. Troop 701 will take care of the retirement of the flags, okay, and the burn pit, and or the cutting up of the flags that cannot be burned, okay. So now the other piece of that that's very important to know, David, are you still here?
Nope, he's gone.
He went. We have an excess. We should have an excess of flags that need to be retired because the ceremony last year was reduced due to weather. Okay, and we did not have the burn pit. Dave Mangan has a very large American flag. I think it came from like Liberty Chevrolet, that size. Okay,
Yeah, wow.
which requires a team of at least 4 to fold it. Okay, and I'm not sure, it may be too big for the fire pit.
Yeah.
Just a heads up. Okay.
Yeah.
But in my note to Troop 701, I'll mention the fact that we have many flags to go ahead and retire. Okay.
Sounds good. Yep.
Hey,
So
Paul,
do I need to, I'm sorry, do I need to contact for the DPW to turn on power?
You can contact the DPW, Dennis Fazio, to help turn the power on. I'll
Okay.
contact Troop 701 and I'll CC you in the correspondence.
Okay.
just going to say, if you could send him a list of what he really needs to do, where it's the first time you've organized it, right, Dale?
Yeah, it is.
It would be nice if he had a list of those things for the first time. It would help out, I would think.
Yeah, I have it.
Yeah, if you said, I think that would make it easier for him for the first time doing it. Would help him out. Just a suggestion, Paul.
Thank you.
And Dave is back. Dave Mangan is back online.
David, do we have flags that need to be burned in large quantities someplace?
Yes, we do. Yes, I have got 2 large Tupperware containers, 50-gallon containers filled.
So let me ask you a question. That large flag, there's a possibility that one might be too big for the burn pit.
Well, I think we might want to do is maybe give it to the scouts so they can cut all the stars out of it to use for, they give out the stars in those little plastic containers there at events.
Okay. I mean, yeah, let's pass that one on to the scouts can do whatever they want with it, but they need to make the decision whether they want to retire it in the burn pit, cut it up, whatever.
That's Troop 107, right?
Troop 701.
70, dyslexic Dave here. All right, 701. Yeah. Hey, I'll tell you, I get no respect.
All right. Memorial Day ceremony is coming along pretty well. I may need one more reader.
Well, I'll be here so I can read if you want me to.
Okay, Miriam,
If you need me, because I will be here now. I won't be in DC, so unfortunately, it's where I wanted to be.
I have students from, we have two scouts, we have two Girl Scouts, we have veterans from Saturday's Coffee, 3 veterans. And Miriam, I think you'll do it, and that'll probably cap it
Okay.
off. That's it.
Whatever you
Okay.
need me to do.
Okay.
Oh, you need me to bring a copy of Flanders Field, or do you have the one from last year?
It hasn't changed, David.
Well, if you still have it, that's good. Bring it.
I'm gonna have you read that. And we're not gonna do Flanders Field at the beginning of the ceremony. We're gonna do that after the guest speaker to kick off the reading of the names. Okay. So we'll do the 21 names. 21, there's 8 pages. Okay.
Okay.
So, and we have a student from St. Joseph's to read the proclamation.
Good.
Okay. And that should be it. We got the chaplains lined up. They're all set. We got the guest speaker lined up. They're all set. We've got the awards. I have them on the dining room table, David. Plus I have the proclamation on the dining room table. And the only thing that we don't have, but thank you for the email, is the Republic of Korea. I now have the person that will be doing the presenting. Does that person also want to speak?
She's kind of reluctant. She's very shy. But I think she'll just merely want to present it to the family and thank the United States for their service in Korea and offer the medal and a small gift, I think, that she's got. So,
Okay, so that'll be like a 1-minute
yes.
if she's
Yes.
doing anything. Okay, okay.
Billy McKay's son is going to be accepting it.
Right.
John.
Okay. Yeah, other than that, I also have a special presentation that we will do for the public, okay, and to recognize an individual that has done tremendous things for the town, okay. And I'm not going to let you know who it is until you come to the event, okay. So
I love surprises.
you all know who it is. I will call the veterans up to the podium, okay. If you're at the event, you don't have to come to the podium. We'll come to the front, okay. And I'll do the presentation in the front and make that work, okay? Just to thank an individual for his service to our town. All right. Any questions of me? Is there
I
any?
have 2.
Go ahead.
Yeah, my questions are the length of the ceremony. Any feel for how long it will be? I raised that question because of last year's, even with the 21 gun salute, we lost a lot of people because it ran long. And when the 21 gun salute was ready to go, we were down to a couple, like about 100 people. And we'd started out for well over 500 in front of the memorial.
That's a good question. So my goal is to kind of keep this at 60 minutes. It usually goes to 80 minutes, okay, which is an hour 20. And a lot of it, I don't have control over. I can tell you, it looks like an hour when I put it on a piece of paper for a plan. Okay. And I'll time it when I read it out. But a lot depends on the reading of the names. Okay. The reading of the proclamation. Okay. Which are oftentimes done by youth, and I don't want to rush them and make them nervous. Okay.
No, I understand that. Yep.
I'm very, very happy to have them out up front. I support them. I fully support them. Okay. To provide, the playing of taps, the music, the national anthem, the posting of the colors from Troop 701, the presentation of the wreath. If people don't want to stay for the entire thing because it gets too long, that's fine. Okay. The 21 gun salute will be the last event. Okay. We will close the ceremony in front of the memorial, okay, with taps, and then move to the 21 gun salute. We only have the one cannon this year. Okay. So that'll give the public a chance to transition to where the gun is. And I just want to kind of keep the whole ceremony around the memorial, and then the 21 gun salute done down on the lower common like we did last year. Okay. Allowing a little bit of time for that to transition. What the public does, Dale, the public is free to do. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So I'm, if they got a soccer game to get to by, 2:00, I get it. I can't control that. They may have a barbecue, they may have something, ongoing. So, we'll see.
I have one other item also. WCAT will be recording it, right?
Yes.
Okay. But they'll also be doing on Memorial Day and should be mentioned during the ceremony that they're going to be putting on at various times during the day the D-Day and the end of VE Day YouTube, which are History Channel type things. They'll be playing those again. They played them on May 8th at 3 times during the day. So,
Okay.
But it should be mentioned, I think, that it'll be, if the people wanted to see those will be on the WCAT.
Okay. I'll make mention of that. So for the next 72 hours, I'm scripting everything. And you may get an email or two, if I need additional help or support. There is one thing that I do request from some member of the board, and that is to provide some assistance to Troop 701 and the Scouts to rehearse the color guard. Okay, just kind of guide the Scouts to where they start, where they post the colors, and then when they retire the colors, the route that they take to retire the colors. Okay.
Which they messed up. On Veterans Day.
Is there somebody that will volunteer to do that? And Peter, you're fair game in this one too, First Sergeant. Sherry didn't say anything about accepting responsibility, okay, or tax. This is something that you would like to do to help us with the ceremony. You're welcome to step up and help.
Yeah, when is that?
The Memorial Day ceremony on the 26th of May at 1:00. So
Okay.
troops.
I'm doing a firing detail with Dale at the West Side Social Club.
But that's at 10:00 in the morning.
Yeah, that's early in the morning. That'll be well over.
Yeah, that'll be done.
That'll be done. Well over.
Well, that's fine.
Downtown.
A cup of coffee later.
So if you can get to the common, the upper common by about 12:30, to just rehearse Troop 701 and walk them through, okay, the color guard posting. and make sure that the flags are in the correct order. And also, Peter, there's a general officer who's the guest speaker who should be bringing a general officer flag. So that has to be positioned also.
Is that General Kondrachuk?
Yes. You know him?
Yes, I do.
Okay, good, good. He's a great person, a wonderful man, and a wonderful
Yes, he
head.
does.
Very, very full of knowledge. Puts
Uh-huh.
AI to shame. Okay. So yeah, he'll come with his with the general officer colors if we can help him, and that would be nice to have you up there to also greet and welcome him. He'll remember you. So thank you, Peter, for volunteering to help us.
Oh, no problem.
A lot of people get volunteered that way, Peter.
It's like being in the army.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
In a
and
while.
it's not hard work. It's just work that needs to be done.
Well, I like
Okay.
giving orders anyway, so.
That's good. That's good. We don't have a liaison for from town council yet. Okay, that's coming. There's some discussion on that, and then the next meeting that we have is June. Why did I always screw up the next meeting
Yeah,
date?
why'd you say the 4th?
I don't know.
June
So it's June 17th.
17th.
June 17th, 6:30 p.m. Zoom.
June 17th. Yeah.
Okay. Now, the big event that occurs in June, your illustrious chair will distribute a master plan for 2025 and 2026 of things that we know, okay, that we're going to do, okay. I'm a planner. I like to push it forward, okay. I can't fix history. I can fix where I'm going, okay. So in order to guide the board and to provide assistance to the town council, that master plan, we will circulate that between now and the June meeting. The June meeting, we need to bring that to a vote, okay? And you are welcome to make corrections to anything that I write. Don't feel intimidated, okay? For example, I always get the date wrong for the next meeting. Nobody pointed it out. Let me know, because I'm human and I do make mistakes, and I am more than happy to correct my mistakes. That's what's kept me married for 43 years. Okay. So that will be, it's about a 2-page document. In that document, I outlined the meetings that we will have over the next year, the events that we are responsible for in terms of hosting for the public, okay, and any other issues or things that are coming up, particularly that may circle around America 250. Okay, there may be 1 or 2 things in there also. Okay. So the document is a guide, it's a plan, okay? And it serves a purpose to provide us direction. Okay, and we will vote on that in June. Any other items that were not anticipated?
I have, I think 10 cases of the Vietnam honor books, Paul, that I think I want to put those out on Veterans Day instead of on Monday, Memorial Day.
Okay.
All right, good, thank you.
Do you have a plan in your head for Veterans Day?
I'm working on it, but I know that as people walk in or as they walk out, the books will be available, or yeah, probably when they walk in, Paul, they can have them and look them over before the ceremony starts, you know. I'm looking at least 1 Korean ambassador for peace medal for that day, and maybe 3 medals of fidelity, and at least one medal of liberty.
All right.
I have another question, and that is regarding Veterans Day. Are we going to do the collation again?
I think that collation was a big hit.
Yep.
I would lean toward doing that again, yes.
Okay, good.
Why don't you explain what we did?
Well, we approached about 7 different pizza places around the town, including Reading, and invited them to provide some pizzas for the event. I learned a little bit, and that's part of the reason why I wasn't there down at the auditorium to direct the kids for the thing, is because we were getting set up, and then people were coming in to get pizzas. And we learned a lesson, but when the Veterans Day ceremony was finished, we only had one line, and people didn't want to stand in that long line. So we need at least 2 lines, if possible 3 lines, for people to go through and get their pizzas quicker.
A double-sided buffet always works. You can have 2 double-sided buffets. There'd be 4
Right.
lines, makes it quicker. And
Right.
I will once again send out the thank you letters to the establishments for a tax write-off for them for the donation. Okay, I
Right.
sent them to all the pizza places last year, and I thanked them very much for what they contributed. So we're in their wheelhouse.
Yep.
Dale, we also had, I think we had more pizzas than we needed.
We
We like
ended up giving
120 pizzas.
Yeah, and but part of the problem is that we lost so much of the crowd because the line was so long at the beginning, and they just went on home. I imagine they were hungry, but they weren't going to stand in line for all that time.
Yeah, we can expedite that somehow.
We ended up giving away at least 10 to 15 pizzas at least.
Yeah.
There was no food left over, though. That was the good thing.
Well, that's because we invited everyone to take as many pizzas as they wanted home
That's
at the
okay.
end. Yeah.
The largest, yeah, the bulk of the consumers are the students from the band. Okay, I mean, keep in mind, you got about 50 kids there that are on the stage.
They
Okay,
can eat a whole pizza by themselves.
Right.
2 or 3 pieces each. That's right.
so having food for those kids and everything else is very successful to do that. Okay, and it is a small appreciation for the work that they do to perform, the songs, the national anthem, and the music that they give us. So, okay, yeah, I'm not limited to pizza. I mean, like if Sunny Notos has some, it's got to be a grab and go type of a situation. Okay.
Mhm.
It can't be knife, fork, and spoon and plate and all that kind of stuff.
Pizzas are
Pasta,
the easiest.
yeah, pasta, lasagnas, and meatballs and things like that could be a little bit difficult and messy. That's why
And the spillage is much greater potential.
yeah.
Yeah.
The pizzas were, I mean, if we want to do calzones or something like that, you can do egg rolls or something like that too. Again, grab and go.
Pre-cut calzones might work too.
Yeah, yeah. So there's and I like the pizza idea because it's easy to count. Okay, a pie's got 8 pieces, and the logistics of it is very simple.
Right.
Hmm.
Right. Could you maybe, if you have like one long table here and then one long table here and have 2 lines on each side of both those tables, split the pizza
Double-sided buffets always work.
Then you've got like 4 lines of people going through,
I agree.
and it would
It's
go
gotta,
through much faster.
I agree entirely. Yeah. We were only a single line this last time.
Yeah, I mean, if you do it that way, you get more.
And as soon as
Get
they
more
walk
of
in
it
the
going.
room, as soon as they walk in the room, they're visible and they can go down the line either side, swing around to the side, sit down and enjoy the food, and have the beverage station at the end of the line
It
so they
was,
can
yeah.
pick up their beverage napkins and sit down.
Yeah, yeah. You got time to think about it.
I think we
Just
do.
saying.
Any other matters not anticipated?
Right.
All right, hearing none. I welcome a motion to adjourn.
I make the motion to adjourn.
Second.
I thought Rob Ettinger was going to second it, just so he can get his name in the minutes.
And Rob,
All right.
I'll rescind that.
Okay. Anyway, thank you very much. And thank you for your help for Memorial Day. I look forward to seeing you here in town. And also, I look forward to seeing you at the rededication ceremony on the 31st, if you're in town and available to attend. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate your support. And Peter, again, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome, Peter.